अस्सलाम वालेकुम दोस्तों, उम्मीद करते हैं कि आप सब लोग ठीक ठाक होंगे, मज़े में होंगे। आज हम बात करते हैं रेंट्री फेलोशिप्स की, जिनमें प्रोमिनेंटली रामलिंगा स्वामी फेलोशिप आ जाती है, या रामानुजन हो, या फिर डीबीटी वेलकम ट्रस्ट की जो अर्ली करियर फेलोशिप है उसकी बात हो। तो इन सब चीज़ों के लिए हम अप्लाई कैसे करें, यानी कि जो उसका मेन पार्ट होते हैं, रिकमेंडेशंस कैसी होनी चाहिए, और नंबर दो आपका प्रपोजल कैसा होना चाहिए, किस लेवल का होना चाहिए, और उसके अलावा आप इंस्टीट्यूट जो भी हो आप कब और कैसे इस इंस्टीट्यूट को सिलेक्ट करोगे, या यूनिवर्सिटी हो उसको सिलेक्ट करोगे, और उनको कब अप्रोच करोगे। तो ये सब जानने के लिए मैंने आज अपने दो दोस्तों को अपने शो पे बुलाया हुआ है, जिनको ये एजाज़ रिसेंटली हासिल हुआ और उनको रामलिंगा स्वामी फेलोशिप अवार्ड हुई है। तो मेरे जो आज के पहले गेस्ट हैं डॉक्टर मोहम्मद अवैस भट्ट साहब, जो इस वक्त डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ फार्माकोलॉजी एंड टॉक्सिकोलॉजी वर्जीनिया कॉमनवेल्थ यूनिवर्सिटी में सीनियर पोस्ट डॉक के हिस्से से काम कर रहे हैं। और मेरे जो दूसरे मेहमान हैं डॉक्टर वाजिद वहीद भट्ट साहब, जिन्होंने कि पीएचडी का सफ़र मेरे साथ ही स्टार्ट किया था। बाद में वो 2015 से लेके 2017 तक न्यूजीलैंड फार्सी रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट में अपने पहला पोस्ट डॉक उन्होंने किया। तो उसके बाद से उनको इंडो यूएस फुल ब्राइट फेलोशिप मिली, और वो मिशिगन स्टेट यूनिवर्सिटी में है, जहाँ पे वो इस वक्त डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ बायोकेमिस्ट्री में सीनियर रिसर्च एसोसिएट के हिस्से से काम कर रहे हैं। तो बिना देर किए हुए मैं दोनों मेहमानों का वेलकम करना चाहूँगा। अस्सलाम वालेकुम, क्या हाल है आपके?
अस्सलाम वालेकुम। वालेकुम सलाम। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ठीक चल रहा है। आप
और
सुनाइए।
वाजिद, आप ठीक ठाक?
अस्सलाम जावेद, अस्सलाम वास। बस शुक्र खुदा का। आप बताओ कैसे हो तुम लोग?
पहले आप दोनों को बहुत बहुत मुबारक हो कि रामलिंगा स्वामी के लिए। तो यूजुअली मेरे जो सेशनर्स होते हैं, टारगेट ऑडियंस रहती है, चाहे मास्टर्स हो या पीएचडी वाले हो, किसी लेवल तक जो बीएससी वाले स्टूडेंट भी होते हैं। लेकिन ये सेशन जो हम लोग कर रहे हैं, ये खासकर हम लोग पोस्ट डॉक्स के लिए कर रहे हैं। उनकी डिमांड आई थी कि नहीं, सबको तो पता है रेंट्री फेलोशिप, सबने नाम सुना हुआ है। वैस भाई, मैं आपसे शुरू करूंगा कि आप मुझे बताएं कि आपने कब शुरू किया था ये सोचना कि नहीं मैं वापस जाऊंगा, और क्या क्या चीजें आपको लगता है कि एक पर्टिकुलर कैंडिडेट को चाहिए जब वो इन रेंट्री फेलोशिप्स के बारे में सोचे।
देखिए जावेद भाई कि ये जब हम यहाँ पे ट्रांजिशन फेज में आते हैं, जब हम यहाँ पोस्ट डॉक सिलेक्शन हो जाता है हमारा, तो हमारा पहली कोशिश हमारी जो रहती है कि प्रोडक्टिविटी, यहाँ इंसान कितना प्रोडक्टिव होगा
जी
उतना ही यहाँ आगे बढ़ने के चांसेस है।
जी।
तो पोस्ट डॉक यूजुअली हमारा होता है 3 से 5 साल का पोस्ट डॉक माना जाता है यूएस में, विच इज गुड फॉर अ कैंडिडेट।
हम्म।
एंड उसके बाद जब 5 साल नजदीक पहुंचते हैं, मीन्स 3 साल के बाद इंसान सोचना शुरू करता है कि भाई हमें यूएस में रहना है कि वापस जाना है। अगर हमें वापस जाना है तो व्हाट आर आवर अपॉर्चुनिटीज, हम कैसे जा सकते हैं इंडिया वापस। तो उसके लिए हमारी ये री एंट्री फेलोशिप्स है, रामालिंगम रामानुजन फेलोशिप्स। रामालिंगम तो साल में एक बार निकलती है, रामानुजम राउंड द ईयर हम एप्लीकेशन सबमिट कर सकते हैं।
हम्म।
तो रामालिंगम फेलोशिप मैंने 3.5 4 साल के बाद शुरू किया सोचना कि आई वांट टू सबमिट माय रामालिंगम फेलोशिप बिकॉज इट हैज 3 years पोस्ट डॉक्टरल एक्सपीरियंस इज रिक्वायर्ड फॉर दिस फेलोशिप। So
तो रामलिंगा के लिए आप कह रहे हैं कि 3 साल मिनिमम पोस्ट डॉक होना चाहिए?
it there should be minimum 3 years postdoctoral experience, but the last 2 years should be from abroad. Abroad means Europe or West, mainly West, not from Middle East or any other country. Usually they prefer if it is from West. So 1 year if it is from India, last 2 years should be from the West. So after that you are eligible to apply for the Ramalingam Fellowship.
वाजिद, अगर मैं बात करूं, आप थोड़ा सा जनरल इंट्रोडक्शन दीजिए कि रीएंट्री फेलोशिप्स होती क्या है। जैसे ओवैस भाई ने तो थोड़ा सा विस्तार में बताया इस चीज को लेकर, रामलिंगा स्वामी को लेकर। आप शायद रामानुजन और डीबीटी अर्ली करियर के बारे में भी हल्का सा बता सकते हैं कि कौन किस स्टेज पे अप्लाई कर सकता है और क्या क्या नेसेसिटीज है इस चीज के लिए।
Right. So, Oas bhai ne he already talked about ki criteria क्या है Ramalingaswamy के लिए. I think it's the same for other fellowships as well, like DBT Welcome Trust or Ramanujan or Ramalingaswamy. You know, you have to have like 3-4 years of experience. You need to have good publications, obviously. Or like Owais already discussed, it's not only publication. You need to have a good project. You need to spend time on project ki kaise banana hai. You need to. It has to be like a total complete application with your awards, with your teaching experience, with your whatever you have achieved during these 3-4 years of experience. So वो सब combine होके, and then I think the same criteria is for all the 3 fellowships, or भी अगर कोई हो तो, you have to have a good CV, you need to have a good project, and you need to have good recommendation letters. So I think Owais would also agree with
अगर
that.
मैं देखूं कि जहां तक हम वैसे भी बात करते रहते हैं कि एक एप्लीकेशन ब्रॉडली 3 चीजों में डिवाइड होती है, जैसे कि सीवी जो दोनों ने आपने बात की, तो जो सीवी उस बंदे का उस टाइम होता है वो ज्यादा चेंज नहीं ला सकता एट द टाइम ऑफ एप्लीकेशन, तो ये एक एक्सपोनेंशियली ग्रो होता रहता है, दिन ब दिन होता रहेगा। रिकमेंडेशन आपके हाथ में होती नहीं है, आपको रिकमेंड कौन कर रहा है तो मतलब उस पर भी आपका इख्तियार नहीं है। मेरे नजदीक हमेशा एक चीज पे आपका जो इख्तियार रहता है वो है प्रोजेक्ट। तो मैं आप दोनों से जानना चाहूंगा कि एक प्रोजेक्ट जब एक पोस्ट डॉक कैंडिडेट लिखता है तो वो क्या क्या चीजें माइंड में रख के लिखे, और क्या क्या चीजें उसको टारगेट करनी चाहिए, कि मतलब सोफिस्टिकेटेड टेक्नोलॉजी करनी चाहिए या कि जो इंस्टीट्यूट के एम्बेड में हो वो करना चाहिए। तो पहले बस भाई आप बताएं कि क्या लगता है आपको प्रोजेक्ट डिटेल में क्या क्या लिखना चाहिए एक बच्चे को।
Like you said, that whether we should consider sophisticated technology or we should take into the consideration what we can do back, right? What we can do back home. So usually postdoc, when we work here for 5 years, we think that we are already in the best of the institute in the world, right? So we have the experience of high throughput technologies, upgraded means experimental setup and all the stuff. But we have to always keep in mind, this is very important point I can say in this developing this project, that you should have to consider what you can do over there. We did a PhD, all of we 3 did PhD from India, and we know how much experimental setup we have over there. So we have to keep our project as simple as possible. But at the same time, you cannot compromise on the novelty of the project. Your project should be really a novel, but with the setup you have over there, you can do, yes, like I'm going to avail my Ramalingam Fellowship from Central University of Kashmir. I can do work there. I can collaborate people out there in the different institutes all over the country. But the thing is, you have to keep in mind the project should be simple. Don't keep any, like I can say an example. Usually we do cell studies, animal studies, both here, right? So if you put the animal studies, you put thrust on the animal study, you need to develop a project, you need ethical clearance and all the stuff for that. For cell study, you can put cell line as long as it is cell line, no primary cell culture. So it is okay, it is a simple. You put cell line, you can get cell line from ATCC or you can NCC Pune or whatever other side, and it is easy. Project should be simple. We have a lot of experimental setup over there. I cannot say we don't have that much what we have here, but the thing is, project, the rationale and how you execute the project, which we call it experimental setup, right? Methodology part should be simple, not hi-fi, not you want to use high throughput PCR multiplex and microarrays and all the stuff you put in your project, and they will definitely know, oh, he's from applying from Central University of Kashmir. They don't have microarray, right? How can he do it with this funding? Because we have funding, we have a minimum funding. You need to get a lot of reagents and all the stuff, set up the lab. We have to set up a lab. So we need some basic instruments, equipments, right? So keep the project, I guess, simple, but don't compromise on the novelty. Like I give my example, I am currently working on vascular calcification last 5 years in this lab, and I published almost 4 papers on this project, and I got a lot of ideas in this. So I execute them in a simple cell lines, 2-3 different type of cell line, and use simple techniques like Western blot, we have PCR, we have confocal microscopy, we have these things available there. So keep the project simple, but should be novel. Of course, you are getting around $200,000 funding for this project. It should not be just you get a like a low impact, or maybe you can't publish even if you have that much project. So for $200,000, you need to write some novelty. Yeah.
Wajid, do you want to add something to this?
Well, I mean, I agree with what Owais said. I totally agree with that. But the other thing I really want to emphasize on is I disagree on that thing that, like you said, that recommendation letters or recommendations, they don't have an impact. They do definitely have a huge impact who those people are recommending. And it always has to be people who you have really close connections with, like your PhD supervisor, your postdoc advisor, you know, and obviously it kind of tells those people, those evaluators, that, you know, they have been good with the people they work with. Sometimes it also matters, right? And, you know, they have obviously your boss, your relationships, how you're going to conduct yourself in future, how your lab is going to be. It's based on the fact that how you were in a lab, you know, because science is it's a group effort. It cannot be, no man is an island. It's like that, right? So, they see all those things in you. It's not the science project only. It's not your CV only. It's like we already said, you know, it's this whole application package, how your recommendation letters are, who are those people, are they influential, do they have good track record, you know, things like that. It all matters. And I would say, like in my case, I contacted people I have collaborated with, or most of them were from Europe or US or even New Zealand, where I did my postdoc, and even my PhD supervisor. So I had like 5 recommendation letters. Like it doesn't harm, right? Minimum is 2. Might as well just add 3 more if you have good connections, if you know people. So that also definitely helps. And the other thing who has already discussed about that, like it also depends. You can have lofty ideas, of course, but they have to be doable. Even if something is not available in the research institute, you have to mention that where are you planning to do that? Who are those people? Write their names. Write a section in your proposal that, you know, I'm collaborating with this, and this person, and they are very happy to be part of this, you know, or even like industries, for example, I need to do next-gen sequencing, you know, so I need to mention that, oh, this is where I'm going to get this next-gen sequencing done from. So if there is something which they know that it's not available in your research institute or the university, they should know where those guys are getting this done from, you know. So you have to be very, you know, emphasize on things which you think that can be, you know, questioned by those people. You know, you have to answer those things ahead.
So you mean, like, you know, both of you guys are giving the take-home message for all of us that all bases in the project should be covered, that how, when, and why you are going to execute it, and how you are going to do it.
Definitely.
तो यहाँ पे और एक जो लोगों की डिमांड पे क्वेश्चन कुछ आ जाए है, तभी मैं बार बार अपने मोबाइल की ओर भी देख रहा हूँ कि एक इंटरेस्टिंग सा क्वेश्चन है. पहला चीज जो ग्रुप से ही लड़कों ने क्वेश्चन पूछा था कि जो ऑलरेडी शायद ओवैस ने आंसर किया, लेकिन फिर भी अगर आप ऐड ऑन करना चाहोगे कि कौन सा टाइम बेहतरीन रहता है कि जब बंदा सोचे कि प्रिपरेशन एक्चुअली स्टार्ट करे, रादर ये कि प्रिपेयर स्टार्ट करे, और जैसे कि होस्ट इंस्टीट्यूट को कौन सा टाइम बेहतरीन है जब हम अप्रोच करें उनको, ताकि बाद में लास्ट मिनट जैसे आपके साथ हुआ था, मैं पर्सनली जान रहा हूँ, मुझे वो पता है कि वो हसल्स ना हो जाए कि
Right. No, I totally understand what you're saying. So, see, like Wes ने बताया कि it has to be 4 or 5 years. But I personally think अगर 3 साल में you have good papers, you have good papers in your PhD, you think you have a good idea in mind, write it down. ठीक है? Write it down. Start. So हमारे साथ एक और issue है basically. Then, for example, if we want to go. Personally, I don't think it has to go back if we want to go back. Personally, I don't think it has to be, like, oh, once we have jayega, so I can't go to other places. So we cannot kind of like, we cannot have like this few institutes. Uske bagair hum bahar nahi apply kar sakte. India has like really, really good institutes. People from Kashmir or other places have really good CV. I know a lot of people, what is about the CV, and they can definitely get absorbed in other big institutes in India. And I think the idea should be, try to contact people from all the good institutes, make a list of institutes. Don't restrict yourself to Kashmir or to other. I mean, obviously people have problems or ghar jana hai, baaki cheezein hai, but think about a bigger picture. That's my point of view. And if you find some really good place, why would you not go there? Make a list of those nice, amazing institutes in India and try to contact them. Start early because what happened in my case, it was pretty hectic. But start early, start building connection, and sometimes you meet Indian professors or directors in the US or somewhere else. You kind of build on that relationship. Hey, in 2 years I might be, I might want to come back to India and we should stay in touch, or this is what I do and this is what I'm interested in. Be casually in touch with those people, and eventually when it's time and you're ready, you would not have to, hassle around. It would be straightforward for you. So that's probably my, point on this.
2 cents on this thing, huh?
Right.
This is sure. और एक interesting question जो लोगों की डिमांड पे ही अगेन है कि पीएचडी पब्लिकेशंस को कितनी वेटेज दी जाती है, और एक अहम क्वेश्चन ये था कि जैसे कि सपोज किसी का पीएचडी डेटा जो है अभी पब्लिश नहीं हुआ है, वो अपने पोस्टडॉक के 3-4 साल में पब्लिश कर रहा है, और जिस टाइम वो सपोज रामलिंगा या बाकी किसी एंट्री फेलोशिप के लिए अप्लाई कर रहा हो, ये जरूरी तो नहीं है कि जो आप यहाँ काम कर रहे हो कि उसी के रिलेटेड आपके पेपर्स होने चाहिए, या जो आप प्रोजेक्ट डाल रहे हो कि वो देख रहे हैं कि इस प्रोजेक्ट के रिलेटेड इसके कितने पेपर्स हैं.
I'll answer that probably.
Yeah, this is a good question, I can say. But the thing is, actually we have to see first, this fellowship is a re-entry fellowship, right?
Mm-hmm.
For the people who are usually in the abroad and doing research, right? So it is very important you should have publication in the postdoc, right? In the current lab. That matters a lot because they are giving it this is the fellowship for the scientists who are working in abroad, want to come back, because this is a kind of bridge they want to gap it in back home. That kind of those minds.
What I mean to say here is कि सपोज आपने तीसरे साल में कोई पेपर छाप लिया जो पीएचडी का था, you give suppose you give affiliation from your current place.
Yeah, that
everybody does. So how they are going to differentiate whether this has solely and wholly come from here, or like this was a collaboration work? Number two is like, is there any criteria given where they have said like, I'm not saying that they should not be having papers from a postdoc. They will be having papers from a postdoc. But what I'm saying is like, have they given any such criteria that papers should be from this, or like, last 5 years criteria, which applies usually for those fellowships, is like, you could have any number of papers from any institute.
Yeah.
As far as papers or publication are concerned, they have not given any specific criteria.
Okay.
It is only criteria for from where they have done their postdoc. or they are doing currently postdoc. They have mentioned in the eligibility criteria should be from the West, means abroad. So 1 year if they have done in India, 2 years should be from abroad. And the second thing is regarding publications, it's very important whether they are from PhD, they publish from US PhD work, or they publish from India. It hardly matters. What matters is your track record.
Right.
And I want to add some experience. I don't know whether you have that question in your
list
or not. The thing is, like I have experience because I applied for 3 times. So what was every time I was thinking why I was not selected. What is the difference at every time, every level? So yeah, a lot of things we told you that a lot of things was also matters. Institute matters through which you apply. You know, there are a lot of Ramalingam fellows already in the institute. They hardly consider it because it has a criteria during these 5 years. If the institute get a position, department get a position, they have to consider this guy first, the Ramalingam fellow. So they think if there are 3 or 4 guys already there in the institute, even though you have everything, you may not get it. So like Wajid said, choose the institute carefully. This is also very important. And you have to fill in the application. When you fill the application, you have to mention everything there, even impact factor, collective impact factor. How much is it? So I don't know whether this time my collective impact factor was 100. So I was, counting these type of things, where I got today, how I got today. Maybe the publication record was good this year. Yeah, obviously it was good than the previous application. So these things matters a lot. Publication from where it come should be on your name. Doesn't matter. It come from India or here.
Well, I have a question for you. So, Jo, aapke previous project, what was the difference? Like, was it a different project last time or last 2 times? Because I don't know. This is my first time I applied, so mujhe zyada.
Yeah, exactly. My friends called me in person also. They asked me this question. Hey, what was the difference from previous time? So the thing is, I didn't change my project at all. Yeah, every time when I need to apply, I keep on checking my project again and again. You know, when you go through the paper, every time you pick up some mistakes, right? And you try to edit. So I add some things more, like some between these 6 months, I got a new concept. I added that. Simple, I added that. That is, but the main rationale of the project was same. Nothing I changed. I guess only thing for difference for my application was last year 2020 I got 2 first author publications.
Okay.
Yeah, and I got the best postdoctoral award.
Okay.
So I guess these 2, and third one was I was a reviewer of 3 or 4 journals.
Right.
But last year I got 4 reputed journals in my field, like cardiovascular drugs and therapy, cardiovascular medicine, Journal of Immunology Research, and Biology. All are very good, high-impact journals. Even I got rejected in those journals when I submitted my PhD work. But now they have taken me as a reviewer. So these 3-4 points were the difference from previous applications. So I want to mention here, emphasize here, like when like Wajid said, we should prepare from 3rd year. You know, in US, we should not think after 5 years. Like apply for different journals to become a reviewer, and we should write a concept to make it much better. Try every time, because it is every 8 or 9 months application is out. You can till you get it. That is.
Yeah, that was the next question on the line which you answered already. Like, you know, there is no bar for chances. Like no certain number of chances there.
No, there is no chance, but the age bar is there.
Kuch, right?
Age is 45.
45, yeah.
For both?
Points, I think something like that. 43 or 42 or 45, something like that.
45 for Ramalingam Fellowship.
Ramanujan is probably 42. Point to, like Owais already like pointed out towards that. So that is key. For example, like he said, he looked through his project and there were mistakes. You know, like it happens with everybody. You know, you find new kind of errors, mistakes, or things like that. So what I did when I was writing the proposal, I had this idea. I wrote the whole proposal, and uske baad, what I did is like I talked to my people. So I have a really good lab environment here. So I talked to my grad students, even like my boss and some other mentors of mine. I sent them this proposal. I'm like, hey, you know, this is what I'm writing. Do you think it's good enough? And obviously they all pointed out, this is not good. Maybe you can change this to this, you know. But it was very proofread, you know. बहुत ही अच्छे से proofreading हुआ था उस project का. And you know, I got really good inputs like, okay, you know, add this figure here. Figure में एक ऐसी बना लो where it kind of like, if somebody just sees the figure, he gets the idea what he's trying to do, you know. Like they always say, you know, a picture is better than 1,000 words, right?
Yeah.
So these kind of inputs, they always help. Don't try to be be open with people who you trust, you know, not keep thirsty through, but just be open with people you trust. Obviously you'll get good inputs. The second thing is like Owais already talked about that, right? Be a part of like review boards, like review papers, and try to, you know, develop those kind of characters in yourself as well. And the other thing what I like to do is like I have like a Publons account, or there is ResearchGate, or even ORCID, right? So I always put a hyperlink in my CV, you know. So for example, with Publons, so they can always see how many papers he has reviewed, how many citations he has, you know, that also matters. So on my CV, if somebody goes and will just click on that hyperlink, it will take him or her to the ORCID or ResearchGate or LinkedIn or, you know, Publons, for example. So they get this whole idea of the influence of this person in his field. So you have to be a bit more innovative with those things. That's what I feel. Right, Owais? You add something.
I want to add, I have opened my application just now, my Ramalingam application.
Right.
Because I want to mention, because it is 1 year back we have submitted, we don't remember exactly what. So there is one point is point number 7 is membership of scientific societies, professional bodies, and like reviewers. So what I did usually we write reviewer for this journal, reviewer for this. They don't know how, means usually a person can't remember how much impact factor for each journal. So I mentioned like reviewer for aging, it is 5.5 impact factor. I am reviewer for cardiovascular drugs therapy, it is 4 point something impact factor. So this makes an impact. They usually we take it easy. Just
in other words, chute bana ki CVS per uses point rao minus tools rao.
Exactly.
Right.
That is perfect. You should, you know, it's a kind of sales. Sales.
You have to sell, right?
You have to sell your product. You see in the commercials how they sell your product, right? They want to tell you each and everything of the product. So you have to tell each and everything of yourself, which
right.
impact. Like we are members of, I'm a member of American Heart Association. I'm a member of American Pharmacology Toxicology Society. Even though if it is not active, but you have to mention it. You are a member from last 5 years.
Date, right.
You should point out these points. And one point I want to emphasize here is significance of research, which we write in our application. So what I'm saying is when we write our significance of our PhD, post-PhD, we should summarize in one paragraph and write all the publication. The work was published in like 3 or 4 journals. You have published your PhD work. So you write all those information of journal, like Journal of Cardiology, volume number, this issue, 2015, like that. Then you go down and write your post-PhD, your current postdoctoral research work and all the publications. my meaning is the emphasize, make it catching, eye catching. I even bold my publications there, this year and volume and issue and all the stuff, because you want to, they cannot see whole application. You want to make them check the important things, achievements you did in your PhD and postdoctoral work. Yeah.
That's a very important point. जैसे अभी आपने इमेजिन किया था वैस भाई कि जब हम लोग अप्लाई करते हैं तो एक चीज ध्यान में रखना है कि उस पर्टिकुलर इंस्टीट्यूट या जो यूनिवर्सिटी है उसमें कितने रामलिंगा या रामानुजन स्वामी फेलोज जो ऑलरेडी होंगे वहां पे, ताकि कल को जब भी कोई भी पोस्ट निकलती है तो उनको प्रेफरेंस देनी पड़ेगी जो वहां पे फेलो होगा। बट जहां हम देखते हैं कि क्राइटेरिया जो देखते हैं यूजीसी का जो भी है, खासकर यूनिवर्सिटीज के लिए, रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट्स के लिए तो दूसरी बात है। अब दो प्रॉब्लम आ रही है जो है, एक तो ये है कि अगर कोई बंदा गया, सपोज आप चले गए भी यूनिवर्सिटी में, कल को जो यूनिवर्सिटी का क्राइटेरिया है शॉर्ट लिस्टिंग का, चाहे बीएससी एमएससी मार्क्स जो भी एक कॉम्बिनेशन उनकी बनती है, तो अगर शॉर्ट लिस्ट नहीं होता है बंदा, क्या आप लोगों को कोई ऐसा प्रोविजन है कि 5 साल के बाद एक परमानेंट पोजीशन मिलेगी, या जो रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट्स में जाएंगे उनको, क्योंकि मोस्टली जो लोग जाते हैं वो उस एज पे जाते हैं जहां पे वो सीनियर साइंटिस्ट के लिए एलिजिबल नहीं रहे होते हैं, तो उनको प्रिंसिपल साइंटिस्ट की पोजीशन के लिए लड़ना है, तो उनको कितना रेगुलराइजेशन का ये अंदाजा रहता है कि हो जाएगा?
Wow.
Very tough question, I guess. Nobody knows the future. But yeah, as you rightly said, after 5 years, we have a criteria of extending this project for 3 more years. We can extend it for 3 more years based on the progress of our project. If you are doing good in this project, you have 3 or 4 publications in 5 years, you can extend it for next 3 years. But the question is again the same, whether you get the position or not. So that depends on, yeah, like I said, it depends all your, like Wajid also said earlier, that it is a research is a team effort, how you work in that environment, how you make an impact in that research setup where you are going to work. You have good relations with everyone, you are productive, and you have everything, because research counts all these things, right? You guys will agree. It is a teamwork. This guy works best in the team. So if you are productive, first and foremost is your productivity. If you are good, productive, and you do your hard work, and you develop your niche very well in that environment. And of course, the Ramalingam Fellows or Ramanujan Fellows, if you have a position in the university in these 5 years and 8 years, you should get considered, I may say. And but it ultimately depends on the institute setup and the managing bodies, how they take you, right?
Right.
It is not necessary.
No, like, sometimes, as I know, we all know few candidates, like, they were, if management is also willing to take them, but the criteria set as of now for, different faculty positions doesn't let them to, like, imbibe them in that very particular institute. That's what I'm saying. Like last time, there was a one session where Dr. Altaf said that we have a provision of like we will be regularizing them after 5 years, but none has been, like, regularized yet. So that cannot be taken as a precedence. That's what I'm saying. Is it, what is the fate after 5 years? And one more point in this is, like, when you get like, absorbed after suppose let's 5-6 years, is this service counted, or you get inducted as an assistant professor at that time?
I don't know about the answer for the last question. Like, is it counted? I don't think it is counted. Maybe it is. I don't know. Anyways, my point is, like you pointed out, there's this point system where they will select people on the basis of their marks percentage in 10th or 8th or 12th or whatever that is. I think in my opinion, that's really stupid. I don't know how long this is going to continue. You cannot judge a person on the basis of marks he got in 10th. It doesn't really matter. And the second thing is, for example, अगर कोई बायोटेक का है वो क्लिनिकल में नहीं जा सकता, क्लिनिकल वाला बायोटेक में. I think at the end of the day, this is all life sciences. Like here, for example, if they have to hire a person, they don't see him how much physics to come a PhD or masters. It doesn't matter as long as it fits in your priorities. That's it. To be honest, they don't really have any priorities back in many places in Kashmir or outside Kashmir. So that's why research institutes, I feel, is probably better because, you know, at least you fit in their mandate and you fit in the story somewhere, right? They don't really care about your 10th, 12th graduation marks, and they shouldn't. Nobody should, right? And the second thing is like Owais already talked about. For example, see, we have 5 years there, right? I don't know. The only thing which is under our control is how we perform, right? I mean, there's no hard and fast rule. You know, they will 100% absorb you. They will give preference, but if we're not good enough, what's the point, right?
No, there are like, you know, two setups. One is like after 5 years, they will evaluate you, like, you know, whether you were good enough, as you were saying, and they may absorb you. If that's a criteria, there's something, you know, considerable. Second is that they don't themselves know.
What, sorry?
I'm saying second point is that if you are productive as well, but again, coming to the 10th, 12th, whatever the mark is,
well,
then
I mean,
they're helpless.
If that is the case, they don't deserve you. If you are productive, if you did everything well, and even if after that you are not considered or you are not made a permanent faculty or a scientist, they don't deserve you. You're productive, you can go anywhere else. You know, you did it once, you went to the States, you went to Europe, you went to other places, you can do it again, right? So, I mean, at some point it has to be, you have to be, you know, there has to be a line to how much you can do. Like, you have to give your best shot, obviously, right?
Okay.
But, and the other people have to see that. If they don't see it, they don't deserve a person like you, for example. That's my approach towards it. I mean, you will know in a few years, like 2, 3, 4 years down the line, you know, like how your work is going. Are you being productive enough? Are you doing other activities too? Are you becoming part of this whole institute or a university or a group, you know? So you can see yourself growing into if this is something, you know, which is going to work eventually for you. And if it doesn't, you know, who cares? You know, you can just go to some other country, you know. I mean, with our degrees, with our research experience, I mean, I don't think there's any place which is not possible for us, right? I mean, it all depends on how hard you work, right?
Yeah, I want
parties or whatever they are.
This thing that, you know, we till this time, we believe in hard work, right?
Right.
We worked hard, like, you know, you guys know, our seniors who went back to Kashmir or India at Ramalingaswamy Fellows, they worked harder than us, you know.
Right.
So everybody worked hard here. The guy who spent here 5 years, he has done much better. Means 3 years or 5 years, who has published from US. Everybody is working very hard in US. You guys know in US, they don't allow you to sit anywhere, right?
Right, exactly.
You have to keep going. The moment you stop, you're gone. They will tell you, leave the country or leave the country. So the thing is, I guess, rather than paying attention whether they will regularize us after 5 years or no.
So these were some genuine questions from, like, you know,
yeah,
other guys.
I know. We also, like, if we say in our relation that we got selected and, oh, this is permanent job or this is temporary job. This thing, because, you know, just for a comedy sake, I can say permanent.
Our system is faulty. Our system is very faulty.
So,
anyway,
but the thing, we will work hard. It is in our destiny. Baki should robustan. Allah.
Right. Barabar.
Hey, now there's a few concluding questions. Like, one is there a provision to go back if you don't like it?
Like
Cash
it,
kar.
like it when you go to India, for example.
Suppose the institutes when boss at the chan conduct to him.
Right. I
Till
think
cash.
the
Alternate
option,
approach is cash.
दो option है, I think. The first one is you can try to find a different institute. They let you transfer once. ठीक है, अगर वहाँ institute खराब हुई, then I think you cannot leave in 3 years. You have to be there for 3 years minimum. 3 साल के बाद you are free to go anywhere you want to. Right? I mean,
I think Wajid said, that is what I said in my earlier starting of this. We have to keep in mind, we are going back. It is not US over there. I saw a lot of people complaining. I saw many of friends, they were postdoc in West, and now they are in Kashmir as assistant professors in colleges or higher education. They say, oh, it is not better here. It is this. We have to keep in mind.
yes, right.
That we are going. Don't expect too much.
Right.
On a lighter note, alternate chuat humut ke.
You will know. You know, right? I mean.
Hotel to पांच हुई चला बस हुई.
मतलब.
नौकरी मिले.
We got a job. Job.
Black third never can Dr. Owais Bhat.
Dr. Owais Bhat for
We got a job, huh? We got a job. Dilchin parwai ke til hai koi sakne. So नहीं आप लोगों के साथ बिल्कुल कन्वर्सेशन इनफॉर्मल और बहुत अच्छा रहा. अब जाते जाते एक मैसेज जो है ना, क्योंकि मोस्टली हमारी जो ऑडियंस है और जो देखते हैं वो आज एक स्पेशल एडिशन था पोस्टडॉक वालों के लिए. नहीं तो ये अक्सर बेशर हम कहते हैं पीएचडी वालों के लिए या मास्टर स्टूडेंट्स के लिए जो भी है या बैचलर्स पे. अगर मैं इनके बिहाफ पे खुद से कह दूंगा हर एक स्टूडेंट को कि अगर किसी को भी आप लोगों में से राइटअप लिखना है या किसी भी किस्म की गाइडेंस की जरूरत है कि क्या करना है, किस तरह से. सपोज लास्ट टाइम मैंने डॉक्टर आशिक के साथ भी किया था या डॉक्टर समीर के साथ भी किया था, जिन्होंने एक अहम मैसेज दी थी कि हमें पीएचडी लैब जो है बहुत संभल के चूज करनी चाहिए, क्योंकि वो हमारी एक नींव बनती है आगे जाने के लिए कि वो एक सफर कैसा रहेगा हमारा. तो आप लोगों की उनके लिए कोई कंक्लूडिंग मैसेज जो भी आप लोगों को यंग जनरेशन देख रही है, कि आप लोग की किस तरह की अवेलेबिलिटी उनके लिए है?
Wow.
We are from two different backgrounds here. Wajid is from plant biology.
Biochemistry.
Plant biochemistry. I am from purely molecular biology and cell biology and work with animals more. There is a notion in our setup, if you work with animals, you have pretty good chances to get postdoc as soon as possible. Because in US, you have to work on cells as well as on animals. So based on that, you choose a lab where you get an exposure to work with in vivo models, in vitro models. Yeah, science, you need to decide. I cannot decide for them, right? What they are.
Right. Interesting. Exactly.
Yeah, we or our seniors helped us to make the to help us
right
in this direction. We are also ready to help these guys if they want sort of counseling or any sort of help in developing projects. We are ready. We are there. This is our this is the purpose of like our seniors did. We are also ready to do this.
Absolutely.
Wajid, do you want to give
I would.
a message?
I mean, obviously, what Wes said is perfectly. I agree with that.
Summarize it up.
Yeah. So, but a couple of things is like one thing is, for example, with regards to write-ups, right? So you should just start writing. Anybody, like even doctoral candidate, postdoc ke liye apply karna, write. Like read a lot of papers, do a lot of literature search. And write that. And the more you write, the better you will get. Simple logic. The second thing is try, like, for example, for master's students or you undergraduate, awesome, for example, I personally think we are producing so much of data these days with next-gen sequencing. We're making so much data. Magar, we need people who can have the, that they know how to do programming, Python, Jupyter, Ruby, R, those programming languages. I think it's something like undergraduate to like college, PG. I think everybody should, in biology, for example, everybody should have some kind of basic understanding and know how to use that, because those are the programming languages. They are going to be essential for everybody. So we didn't get that, obviously, opportunity to do that when we were doing, but right now it's a big deal, and everybody should have some kind of knowledge of those programming languages. Second thing is, obviously, we're always here. People reach out to us, students, we're always helpful. That's what I think. Obviously, Owais too, and Javed, you too, and there are so many other, places on Facebook groups, on Twitter. You will find so many good information on people tweeting about science and research and stuff. So there are a lot of opportunities. You just need to, keep digging. It's like that, right? And we're always here to help in any way. And, at least students have to do some kind of effort, right? So I think that's all I have. And
इंशाल्लाह मतलब इस चीज को लेके कभी फ्यूचर में उन लोगों के लिए एक प्रोग्राम करेंगे, क्योंकि आज का प्रोग्राम हम सब पोस्ट डॉक्स के लिए डेडिकेटेड था और बहुत मजा आया आप लोगों के साथ ये सेशन करने में। तो इंशाल्लाह उम्मीद करते हैं कि आप लोगों ने भी एंजॉय किया होगा, और ये भी साथ में कि एटलीस्ट हम लोग को डाउन द लाइन 5 साल ओवैस भाई के होटल पे काम करने का मौका मिलेगा।
I hope I can know, but
so we have a certain job there. Come on, man, we have a certain job there. We have counter-rated. The heck I've never rated here.
I guess really hard work. So
yeah, inshallah, there will be many opportunities.
Inshallah,
good opportunity in future as well.
बिल्कुल ये तो दोस्तों आप लोग सुन रहे थे डॉक्टर वाजिद वहीद और डॉक्टर मोहम्मद अवैस भट्ट को, और इसी तरह से सुनते रहिए। इंशाल्लाह अपना बहुत सारा ख्याल रखिएगा। अगले एपिसोड में आप लोगों को और एक मेहमान के साथ मिलाएंगे। तब तक सब लोग अपना ख्याल रखें। अल्लाह हाफिज।
अस्सलाम वालेकुम।